The Epiphany of our Lord Jesus Christ. Epiphany. It's a revelation or a manifestation or a surprise. Usually, in one sense, an epiphany is an intellectual understanding that comes through something very simple. You see a flower and you understand something of reality, bigger than the flower. An image perhaps might help on this feast of Jesus being visited by 3 wise persons from the east. We know the sun shining on the earth shines not on the whole earth at one time, just at a particular place. But maybe even a better image would take a ball, a volleyball or a basketball, and shine a light on it. And it shines on a very small part. And you can rotate the ball or you can rotate the flashlight, but the light only shines on that one part. What would happen if a light would come so brilliant that it enlightened the whole ball? What would happen if there were such a light in the sky that at all one time the whole globe lit up? Well, if you can get that image, that's an image of the Epiphany, because Jesus is born as a Jew in the Jewish area of Judea, in the town of Bethlehem, and shepherds come, and there is recognition that the light has come to Israel. There's a celebration in the Greek and Russian Orthodox and other Eastern forms of Christianity and Catholicism. They celebrate the birth of Jesus by the recognition that another part of the world has come to recognize Jesus. Jesus, in a sense, is born for the Eastern European church when the East comes to the West, when the sages and the wise men from the East come and recognize that Jesus has been born for them too, and that the light has shined for all the world. Well, that's the Epiphany. It's a manifestation that the light of Christ is not like a little flashlight shining on a very small part of the world. It's a celebration of Jesus being the light of the world. Well, that's what the Epiphany is. Let's talk about the kings. It's, as we heard in the first reading from Isaiah 60, it's a recognition that there's going to be frankincense and people coming, men and women coming to see this light. And so Matthew picks this up. It's not in any other gospel. It's only in Luke or in Matthew that the 3 kings come, because Matthew is understanding that the Christian church, before he writes the gospel, the Christian community is growing beyond Israel. It's extending beyond the borders of this little nation. So he inculcates that while his gospel is for Jewish converts to Christianity, to the following of Jesus, it's expanded beyond the converts from the Jewish community. So they come bearing gifts, and maybe this would help. There are 3s here. There are 3 kings. But there's a 4th, Herod. So he's over symbolizing the power of Israel, the power of power. That's one image, a castle, a palace. Then you have a house or a stable, poverty. So you have richness by the kings, poverty of Jesus and Mary and Joseph, and the power of riches, Herod. And then you have an encounter between the Magi, the kings, coming from the east, and Herod. They come in faith. This frightens Herod because his power might be taken away by a new king born of the Jews. Oh, this is frightening. So you have faith confronting fear, confronting simplicity. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. And it's very beautiful that the way Matthew has it, that the Magi come according to their tradition, and because of a dream that they receive, they return by another way. Not just geographically, but another way of relating with God, relating with wisdom. So Herod wants to have the power of knowing, and the Magi receive the power of believing. Another way of relating with God. They now don't come to God, but God has come to them. And in one way, and this is the way I think we can celebrate this feast more personally, they, in a way, this is just me, but they receive the Eucharist. By giving their gifts of power, they receive something for life, you see. We want to come to the Eucharist, to the stable, to the house, to the feet of Jesus. We wish we could bring frankincense and myrrh and power. What they actually receive is not knowledge but faith. What they receive is the invitation to go by another way of living, that is faith, which will continue searching. Faith doesn't end in, oh, I got it. No, I'm going to get it. I'm receiving it all the time. That's what faith is. If I'm searching, if I'm following the star of my own longing, that star represents human longing and God's coming to us in our longing. And they come and they have a liturgy. In a way, they bring their gifts, but what they receive is Jesus. And the revelation that Jesus is for all of us, not to separate us, but to unite us. East, West, Catholics, non-Catholics, our Jewish brothers and sisters, Hindi, Mohammedan, we are all there. Well, the question then for us is, how poor are you? Are you poor enough to really receive the Eucharist and to go from the Eucharist living another way, like the Magi, not so bound and grounded in knowledge and certainty, but going our way, another way, seeking other stars and other ways that the light of Christ is to shine upon us and then through us. What we receive in the Eucharist, we are to distribute with all God's brothers, God's family, Christ's brothers and sisters. In receiving the Eucharist, we receive them.